So Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club went after Ron DeSantis here. And this is really interesting because this is one of the arguments that, I had brought up previously. An argument that would be potent for Ron DeSantis to make against Trump is, hey, man, you're weak on crime. You're weak on crime. Here in Florida, we lock criminals up. Trump did. You're not locking criminals up. You're releasing criminals. Look at what you did with the First Step Act. Now, substantively and ideologically, I don't agree with Ron DeSantis on that. I'm actually more with Trump. In fact, I'd go further. I do more than a First Step Act. I go a lot further than Trump has gone on this front. But it's a potent line of attack for Republican primary. To the extent that any of those voters care about ideology at all at this point. I mean, you could argue it's all vibes, and that's why they love Trump over everybody else. This didn't get past Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club. They saw the arguments Ron DeSantis was making, and they took issue with it. So we're going to go through it here. I can't play the video for you because sometimes they're copyright sharks over at the Breakfast Club. I don't know what their parent company is or whatever, but they like to strike you if you use their stuff. So, but we have the quotes. We'll go through it. Charlemagne warns Ron DeSantis is pro-mass incarceration after he vowed to repeal Trump's First Step Act. Charlemagne the God warned that 2024 presidential candidate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is pro-mass incarceration. The nationally syndicated radio host made the comment on the Tuesday edition of The Breakfast Club where he and co-host DJ Envy, Teslin Figaro, talked about DeSantis vowing to repeal former President Donald Trump's First Step Act. The First Step Act aimed to reduce recidivism and provide a pathway for non-violent prisoners to shorten their sentences. By the way, that's kind of crucial, isn't it? Non-violent prisoners. Non-violent. Are you really going to, go all in on trying to make sure these people are locked up longer? Last Friday, DeSantis called the act a jailbreak bill and said it has allowed dangerous people out of prison who have now reoffended and really, really hurt a number of people. The 2024 hopeful voted to overturn the bill if elected. The Breakfast Club crew bashed the idea of repealing the act and spoke about how the bill actually helped people work toward getting their life back. Quote, "Oh, please. I mean, these jails aren't doing any rehabilitation to begin with. We call these facilities correctional facilities. They damn sure ain't correcting nobody," Charlemagne said. Figaro branded DeSantis' claim that inmates quickly reoffended as a lie. DeSantis is a damn liar. This is simply not true. The only people that were eligible for the first step credits were people who were already minimum or low risk people. They were already getting out of prison. So let's just be clear about this. This wasn't just allowing somebody to get out of prison. As they discussed the importance of the program, Figaro said, "Let me be clear on the record to say that Ron DeSantis is pro-reoffend. He is pro-reoffend because anybody that is against the First Step Act, that means you basically want people to get out of prison without any tools." And then here comes Charlemagne with the elbow from the top rope. I would ask Ron, I wonder, does he feel the people that raided the U.S. Capitol should go to jail and stay in jail? Figaro clarified that DeSantis has talked about pardoning some January 6 participants. He's totally okay with rioters getting an opportunity to get out of jail, but not okay with preparing people to have successful opportunities when they get out. So he is pro-reoffend and pro-mass incarceration. And by the way, that's not even totally accurate because he's in favor of releasing the right-wing rioters from January 6th. But if you talk about Black Lives Matter rioters, what would he say? He don't want to let them out. He wants to keep them locked up. So really, it's more ideological than it is about the exact crimes in question. And this is the thing, man. I mean, these guys, all these tough on crime people are totally full of it. Because I guarantee you, all the politicians who are I'm the toughest on crime. Oh, really? Do you want to lock up George W. Bush and Dick Cheney for being torturers and war criminals? Is that what you want to do? Minimum hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians died in Iraq as a direct result of this war. Do you want to lock them up? I do. And that's why I always said I'm tough on crime that I think should actually be crime. Murder, rape, war crimes, torture, things of that nature. All that I'm very tough on, but I'm on things I don't think should be crimes. I'm as lenient could be. I mean, I don't think there should be basically any drug crimes at all, right? I'm telling you, it's a good line of attack for DeSantis against Trump in a Republican primary. How much it'll help is a separate question. He might just be a victim of circumstance and timing, and he might have no hope at all at this point. It's yet to be seen. It's a good line of attack, though. It's as good as he could do in a Republican primary. But the fact of the matter is, on the substance, again, this is like attacking Trump on something he actually did good, right? Like, this is not, he did this good. Trump actually ran a Super Bowl ad about his approach to rehabilitation on crime. I think he ran a Super Bowl ad. I don't know if it brought up the First Step Act, but it definitely brought up pardoning Alice Johnson. Remember that sweet grandmotherly lady who was like involved in some sort of a drug deal and didn't even realize it, and then she was supposed to spend life in prison, and Kim Kardashian brought that to Trump, and Trump pardoned her. Like, he bragged about that because it was one of the few good things that he did. And I just think a lot of these Republicans are just sort of lost. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to approach Trump. They don't know how to go after him. And even when they use arguments that in theory should work or would work against other Republicans not named Trump, it's just hard to get it past Trump because Trump is the vibes guy, man. There's something about just his vibe that the Republican base likes. His vibe, the fact that he constantly triggers the libs. It's just a perfect stew that makes him like just a behemoth and a force to be reckoned with. I mean, even when he has his low points, somehow always bounces back. He's got more than 9 lives, this guy. But certainly on the substance of the First Step Act, I'm way more with Trump than I am with DeSantis. And I think these comments from the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne, I mean, I think they're accurate, man. I think DeSantis, it's fair to call him pro-mass incarceration. It's fair to say he doesn't want tools to actually rehabilitate people. And it's fair to say he's a total hypocrite because he's only tough on crimes if it's if the people committing the crimes are his political enemies. Because if you're talking about freeing some of the violent January 6th protesters, you're certainly not principled. That's obvious. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.